Hey there, Rockstar Quilters. I'm at my sewing machine today and I'm just trying to finish up one of my many never-ending piles of projects. And one of the last steps that I do, I thought, I should probably tell people about this. So, yeah, quick one, just to show you. So, you may have seen I did the Snowflake Quilt from Modern Handcraft. That's the big half snowflake and it's got lots of squares. So this is a quilt that doesn't have a border. And I don't make a lot of quilts with borders. So one of the problems with that is you have a lot of these seams ending right there. And if you handle them a lot, they'll start coming apart. Some people try to combat this by using a shorter stitch length, which is totally fine, except if you make a mistake, it's a little harder to take out. Not a fan of that. But what I like to do is put in a line of stay stitching. I used to sew a lot of garments, and stay stitching is pretty common, like around necklines and things before they add more things or add more pieces. It's really particularly good for handling those bias edges so they don't splay too much and get out of control too. So all I'm going to do is, doesn't matter where you start, you can start in the middle if you wanted. I usually just start at a corner and I run a line of basting stitches all the way around the outside of my quilt. I'll show you. Dun, 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 dun. We're still a quarter inch in. Could be a fat quarter inch, could be a skinny quarter inch. Doesn't really matter because you can easily remove it because we're just basting stitching it. Or you're, depending on how it's quilted and you're binding, it's going to cover it most of the time anyway. So if it doesn't, those little spots where it doesn't get covered, easy enough to pick out. Like I said, because we're doing big old basting stitches. See? Super easy. And I'll just keep going around the quilt like this. Not only that, your longarmer will love you because when they wrestle this quilt top onto the quilt frame, they got to move it around a lot. And then they have to baste it down. So they've already got a line that pre-done for them so that they can follow it and it'll make their job easier. Yeah. And I'll show you this. You might have seen this already, but I did also do lines of stay stitching on this one too because there are a lot of bias edges. And I know it's going to be a while till I quilt this, so that's just going to keep it nice and not stretching out like crazy, even though I did also starch this. But it's going to manage that fabric for me and keep it nice, and it'll also help keep it from, raveling too much too. But yeah, it'll just keep it tidy. That is my tip for you today. Keep on rocking.